This year our theme has been Each Piece Counts, and truly that's a reflection of the commitment of the parents, the community members, our exceptional staff, as well as the fine students that we serve. Each piece counts reflects the idea of the African proverb that it takes a whole village to raise a child. We know that each one of us brings different strengths and different contributions that we can give to children as they grow both socially and emotionally as well as academically during these important elementary years. At Deer Park we have an excellent technology program, and I think that a part of that excitement is generated by the staff. They are a community of learners themselves and have been to classes and training such that we're a total technology school, having literally all of the staff trained in technology as well as meeting the state technology competencies. One of the exciting things about technology is that it enables you to do some of the things you used to do, but in a new and different way. And so that enables us to use our creativity to bring forward different ideas for children. It enables us to share ideas across the school's mail system, our email, and using our own network. It enables us to download from the internet, whether it's images or information for reports. And it also enables us to bookmark certain locations so that the children can visit those for special event times. They're safe in terms of investigations on the World Wide Web. Our volunteer program has really helped to enrich and extend the everything that we can provide for children by having parents, community volunteers, seniors, those even without children in school come into our building and volunteer their time and their talents. The children are able to have a much richer curriculum. So we feel very fortunate to be in Centerville and to have the level of support that we enjoy on a daily basis. The other aspect of Deer Park I think that makes us exceptional is the focus on the language arts program and the integration of drama and kinesthetic movement into the language arts. Certainly all of literature is rich for children, and we have a variety of both basal and non-basal texts. Children are using all three of the cueing systems. We've had a phonics approach, as well as children reviewing and learning from literature, novel sets, trade books, and nonfiction books. But the extra added piece the past 2 years has been the interest of our reading specialist, Maureen Culhane, in sharing her expertise in dance and drama in the classrooms to enhance reading comprehension. So we found that children's performance and scores on standardized tests, as well as their general classroom performance, has improved because of this dramatic element, their ability to move, to enact the stories, to find a different venue. And as the staff has explored the work of Howard Gardner and multiple intelligences, we found that we're able to meet children's different strengths as well as stretch them in other dimensions and directions. By examining the work of Howard Gardner and multiple intelligences. Our teacher-researcher group has been a way for us as professionals to expand what we're able to do for children by taking a critical look and asking specific questions, gathering data to find out whether or not the hypothesis is on target, and then analyzing that data. This is the third year of our Teacher as Researchers group, and these folks are involved in concrete educational research, which is then shared out with both county forums as well as in a staff meeting at the end of each year. We've found about the benefits of technology and cooperative learning, technology projects in classroom settings and enhancing the science and social studies curriculum. And we've also had different other of the teachers as researchers questions that focus in the language arts fields. So we feel very invigorated by the exciting questions that teachers are posing themselves, the inquiry that comes from wanting to know a little bit more than what you can observe.
My question was, what happens to the quality of students' questions when I change my teaching style?
There are approximately 850 general ed and special ed students at Deer Park Elementary, which is located in Centerville, Virginia. For all of you that have ever put a jigsaw puzzle together, it's almost impossible to do if you don't have all the pieces. And there's not one piece that's more important than the other. You have to have all the pieces that come together as all the staff members and the people who volunteer and work within Deer Park all come together to create the big picture, the big puzzle, which is Deer Park Elementary School. And I think the people who benefit from this are the children who go here.
Okay, guys, what letters are they?
A and T.
And what are the sounds?
At.
So it's at. Okay, give them some applause. Okay, show them here. I'm going to give you the stack.
The language arts program at Deer Park Elementary is extremely exciting, and this can be seen from the phonemic awareness activities that are taking place in kindergarten all the way up to the literature groups that meet in 6th grade. Well, one of the exciting things that is taking place in the classrooms is with our reading program and the multiple intelligences concepts that are being introduced, such as the mind gym and mind stretching, and having children act out their stories and their writings in ways that make it more acceptable and fun and enjoyable for them to learn.
To the king. What king? He isn't even acting like one. He has been treating us harshly and unfairly for many years. Just because he is in debt from the 7 Years' War because he protected you and me does not mean he is unfair. My point exactly. You are in debt to other countries, not us. You shouldn't take
The 6th grade girls that were reenacting a piece of history were using the drama component to tell their story. And instead of just reading from a book or writing down a report, by actually doing it, they were enhancing their learning. We have visual learners, we have auditory learners, we have kinesthetic learners, and our entire staff feels we want everyone to be successful every day, and we want to expose them to all 3 modalities. I am stronger than you, said the sun. Pooh, answered the wind. What nonsense! I am much stronger than you. Well, said the sun, let's make a bet. We will see who can make her take off her coat first, said the sun. You start. So the wind blew with force. It blew and blew. The sun shone gently and steadily. It looked right at the little girl, who began to feel warm. She let her coat hang loose. The sun shone brightly, and the little girl became very hot. Finally, she stopped under the shade of a tree and took. We feel that every child walking in the building needs to feel successful. So when they are knowledgeable that there are 7 different intelligences, whether it's math, movement, art, music, just collaborating with others is a strength, just being very quiet but more like a sponge, that you're absorbing everything that the teachers say. Well, I did a self-evaluation with every child in the building, and they listed the ones they were the strongest in and why, and it was a real eye-opener, but in every class they came out and said, that means everybody in this class is smart, and I guess that's what it is, so that everybody who comes in just knows. They walk in the door going, I feel good today because I'm art smart. I might not be math smart yet, but they feel good about something, that they all feel smart. That's the bottom line. Teachers integrate by letting the social studies incorporate movement with it, or to paint a picture that tells 1,000 words. There are so many ways to tell a story. You can do it with movement, you can do it with a piece of paper that's been drawn on, you can rhythmically do it in a math class to do the times tables. You can add a little bit of movement there. Just eliminate the weaknesses by focusing on the strengths.
I bet I'm the stronger one. No, I'm stronger than you. Well, let's make a bet. See that little girl down there? If the first person to make her take her coat off wins the bet. Okay, you go first.
This is a 2nd grade class that's doing a lesson about reading comprehension with the reading teacher. Yesterday, the kids read the story, The Wind and the Sun, with their partners and by themselves, and then the reading teacher read it to them. Then they made a visual representation of the story, the beginning, middle, and end, by drawing pictures. Today, we're acting out the story in partners. They're meeting with each other to decide how they will act it out and then performing it for the class. They're doing this because what studies have shown is that kids have a better understanding and comprehension of stories when they act out what they've learned, because many children learn through tactile or kinesthetic motions that help them understand the story better.
I had approached the 5th grade teachers about doing a research project, and at the time they were preparing for their ancient Egyptian unit. Where'd you get your pictures?
On the computer, so I did a scan from books.
And so, you from the internet, you had a harder time? The 5th grade teachers each chose a specific project that they wanted the students to do as an end project. And in Mrs. Scatamachi's 5th grade class, she chose an I Spy poster based on the I Spy books that we find in our libraries everywhere. And these books are books that have pages of pictures with lots of objects on them. And the object of the page, what the student does is look into the book and try to find specific objects. So their posters were going to be a combination of a lot of topics and information that they have gathered in their research. As my role in this process was to teach the students how to take notes and how to look for information in the textbooks that they were using or in the books that they found here in the library. And we started by taking notes, and I taught the students how to condense their notes so that they're not writing a lot and they're not writing words they really don't need to write down. And so we talked about trash and treasure words, and trash words being words that they didn't need and they could throw out, words like the and a and some. And then we talked about the treasure words, the words in a sentence that they would want to keep in their notes so that would give them information. And after we started that, then we gave the students note fact sheets to write their information down. We gave them a certain amount of space to write notes down. Then they took those notes and they divided them into categories and organized their notes by subjects that they looked in the books and found. And from that information that they gathered, they were able to piece it all together and take their books and scan pictures that they wanted to include in their posters, and they had to write a paragraph about each picture to put on their poster. Each student had different topics. Some worked in pairs and some worked alone. And we found that by working in pairs, a lot of them were helpful in finding information in a multitude of sources rather than just one book or two books. In the end, they had a written report they were to do, and attached to that was their poster. I found it to be a very effective way for them to use their information by using the posters. And it was a very enjoyable task for me to be able to share with them a way to do research without it being cumbersome or bothersome.
We're very fortunate here at Deer Park to be a total technology school, which means we are preparing these students for the 21st century and the leaps that are going to take place in technology in the next few years.
Deer Park Elementary is an all-technology elementary school. It's a model tech school in grades preschool through 6th grade. All our teachers have been trained in model technology training. And we have 4 computers in most classrooms, 3 in some others. And we have 18 computers in the computer lab. And in all our workstations, classrooms, and in the lab, we run Macintosh systems. And we have 2 servers. And this enables all the children in the building to be able to work on their projects at any place, whether it be the library, in the computer lab, or in the classroom, because they save all their files to the server. Web Weavers is an after-school computer club. These are children that have been trained to create web pages using Claris Homepage 3.0, and they have come together to form teams. And the web pages that they're developing, they're going to submit to ThinkQuest Junior competitions or the Computer Learning Foundation Our Town. One girl and her partner from 6th grade are doing a cookbook online, a web page. These are recipes that children can cook in the kitchen. I had another team doing a web page on wolves, and another team researching the Civil War and focusing on events mostly in the Northern Virginia area. And then we had another team doing an Our Town site for the Computer Learning Foundation, and they're talking about the Centerville Chantilly area and our business partner, which is ASC. And then finally, we have another team that is doing a web page on soccer.
We need to save it as a GIF.
We have 4th grade students that are coming in today to do their Hyper Studio stacks. These are HyperCard type of programs that allow the children to create text boxes and import graphics. And the particular project that they're working on is Journey Through the Solar System. They're writing a science fiction journey through the solar system, but they are incorporating all the facts that they've learned about the solar system in the project. They're using sound buttons called blabbermouth buttons so that they can type in text and the computer will read to the person that is looking at the stack. They can also make their own audio buttons so they can record their own voices.
The missing aliens are not here. Go to Saturn next. You have reached Saturn. The missing aliens are not here. Go to Earth
A
next.
slideshow implies that you would click on a button and you would go from slide to slide. In this case, it's a branching application. In other words, the person can choose a button and choose a card to go to, not necessary in linear order.
About 4 years ago, in response to our state-of-the-art technology situation here at Deer Park, and the need to do a project on the solar system, which is a science unit that we do in the 4th grade, I developed this multimedia project called Journey Through the Solar System. We used the HyperStudio program to create a multimedia presentation, an interactive multimedia presentation. We're really helped by the fact that we have a file server here where I can create large graphic files which the children can use to pull pictures into their programs. And then they also have an audio feature and, like I said, an interactive feature, which makes them a little bit like a game. At about the same time, I started working with our school's teacher research group, and I was very interested in how cooperative learning and work on the computer to create this multimedia project went together. I was particularly interested in how group selection affected the final outcome of the project that they ended up with. And so I have done some work over the last 3 years in experimenting with group selection techniques. And that would be like teacher-selected groups, groups selected by lottery, pulling names from a hat, and then also letting children select their own partners. My research is indicating right now that the teacher-selected groups are the best in terms of producing the best final product. I've done things like record their conversations as they work on the project. We've also had student researchers from George Mason come out and score them as sort of unattached evaluators so that we can get some really good baseline information. The why part of the comment, huh?
You ready? Lady, what will you do? I will stir potato into my stew. This is a preschool classroom. These students were 4, turning 5 years old. They all have some sort of a developmental delay. And what I was doing with them was working with a book that was designed by a classroom teacher and put together by an assistant. The purpose of the book is to enhance vocabulary and concept development. It also allowed interaction by the students. That's why they were able to pick the little pieces of the vegetables and put them on the book. Another aspect of the story was that it contained a repetitive phrase, which allows the child to say the same thing over and over again, building their pre-reading abilities. We then moved to working on the computer with a program that used the IntelliKeys, which was the device that sat in front of the computer screen. And it contains pictures that were designed by the teacher to go with the program, which is also teacher designed. This particular program was put together by Tracy Scott. It incorporates the repetitive phrase, the vocabulary, which in this case was the various vegetables. It also allowed the students to work with the concepts of large and small and the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When we work with this type of program, we can adapt it for any story, any book, any activity. And that's the great value of it, is that it's not a commercial package. It's something that, looking at our individual students, we're able to design an activity that works for them. It's usually presented first by the teacher in a group setting like this, and then it's just available to the students throughout the classroom day.
3, 4. 2.
I will stir turkey into my stew.
One more thing to push.
1.
I will stir turkey into my stew.
We're very fortunate to have such a strong volunteer program here at Deer Park Elementary School. Over the last 2 years, we've recorded over 20,000 hours. A lot of our volunteers come from the business community and from the seniors at the Forest Glen Nursing Home. These volunteers help enrich and strengthen the curriculum here at Deer Park and allow our teachers time to work with the students individually.
Deer Park has a wonderful volunteer support system, and we get our volunteers primarily from the parents and our community. We especially enjoy having the senior citizens from Forest Glen Retirement Center come and help us every Wednesday morning from 9:30 to about 12, and they come just to help out. Either they teach the kids how to give support to the teachers by helping the children learn to read, tell time. Some of them do arts and crafts with the students. Forest Glen people and the production center, they do support work by helping make little booklets to write in for the children, work on the Ellison Press, cut out letters, make posters, do just about anything that the teachers send up in here, so the teachers can have more time to help the students, and this way they don't have to do the work that takes the time, and they can put more effort into working with the academics, so to speak, and it just works out real good, and it's just an all-round win-win situation for everybody.
Look, here's a picture.
Okay, I'll take brown. Okay, here's this instant.
All right, now make a hoop.
You know, I didn't want this to be cut away, so I just made so you
That's cool. So it can lift up.
But I want it to stand now, since it's like.
Oh, you want it to cut? Wait. What do you want it to do?
Stand up. But we're gonna put it on the wall, and it'll just look like this.
No, it won't come out that far. I'm sure Miss Mound will bend it a little bit so it looks like it's not falling over.
It'll kind of be like slanted or something.
Parent volunteers are an important part of the school. I think it helps the school run. It's fun to come in and work with the students and see what they're doing during the day. It also helps the teacher by having someone take small groups out of the classroom or work with small groups in the classroom while she can do other things. The volunteers can make copies for the teacher, do bulletin boards, do things that she might not have time to do so that she can work with the students, or a volunteer can actually work with the kids, and you get to meet the students in the class that go with your kids and see what they're doing all day.
Yeah, both sides. Okay, now how are we going to decorate with?
I want to decorate with the
Ooh, cool. Want those? Here. And like, if you want your name, you can write your name in glue, and then you take the glitter and you sprinkle it on, and it'll be your name.
That's what my sister does.
Okay.
We became a business partner with Deer Park just this school year. So since September, we originally met with Diane Painter and Lynn Pope, and just exchanged some ideas on what we hope that we could do for the school and that the school could do for our business, and took tours of our facilities, the school, and our headquarters in Chantilly. And we came up with some simple things that we hope to do for each other. Children are the future, and our business could have no future without the children once they grow up. We need for children to go through school and learn and hopefully become a part of our business someday. In fact, when we had our signing of the partnership agreement here at Deer Park in October, our president and CEO, Elliot Needleman, made a deal with the students here. He said, if you kids go to school and you learn and you graduate and you're qualified, he said, I will give you a job. So we need for the children to feel special and to feel that they're capable of doing things and that they have potential, and they're not going to know that unless people tell them. So hopefully we're giving that to them, letting them know that they are important and that they can learn and that they will be able to take things that they learn and use them in their everyday life now and in the future.
Deer Park is an exceptional place for children to learn, and it is that way because it's a community that has committed itself to each piece counting and recognizing the value of each piece and each person's contribution.